man, I'm starting to get excited. Less than 100 days before the NFL season kicks off, the New York Jets are underway in OTAs. Let's hear what's going on around one Jets Drive. J-E-T-S, Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, I go live every, Tuesday at 8 o'clock for our Talking Jets panel. Myself, O'Leary, and Green Bean. So ask us all your Jet-related questions. But let's move on to today's topic of the day. And that is the Jets. OTAs are underway. We get a little bit of media access, so we get to listen to the little tidbits of things going on, tweets going out, players catching balls, dropping balls, missing passes, all that sort of good stuff. But we got a few clips from Robert Saleh's press conference. Let's dig into them just a little bit deeper. The first one up, let's hear what he had to say about George Fant and Mekhi Becton and how they would sort out left tackle and right tackle.
At the tackles with Mekhi and George Fant, what's going to go into who plays on what side, and when do you expect to make that decision?
As soon as we can get Mekhi here, I think hopefully for minicamp. I know he's dealing with the birth of the baby. Again, far more important. But once we get them all in here and we're able to work through it all, we'll be able to work through that part of it.
So you don't expect him here until minicamp?
We're in communication with them. It's no hurry. I mean, it's not like we're doing 11-11 stuff anyway. So.
Is he working on some right side footwork and hand placement and things like that down in Texas?
Yeah, they're working on everything. I know that he's just working on overall strength and getting the knee back and all that stuff. And from everything I've been gathering, he looks really good.
Now, this response makes a ton of sense. Robert Saleh doesn't want to commit to one particular player on one side of the field without seeing both players here on the field competing. That just makes perfect sense. And as someone who's about to have a new little one of their own, I can sympathize with Mekhi Becton spending a little bit of family time for the voluntary workout. So I have no problem with this. I think he is going to get big and strong. And you look at some of the workout videos that Mekhi has had, and it is just fascinating to watch how strong this guy actually is. Now, as far as left tackle, right tackle goes, how do I expect it to play out? George Fant played phenomenally well at left tackle, so it would really have to take a pretty big fall from grace for me to like move him back to the right side of the line. Like for me, Becton, I'm sorry, you're going to have to kind of earn that slot back. I'd like to see Fant on the left side, Becton on the right side. Look, no issues from me. Zach rolls around a lot anyway, so I think you're going to have the same kind of responsibilities anyway, with the exception of not the gloating of being able to protect the quarterback's blind side. But either way, I like the two-tackle competition. I'm not overly concerned about Becton. We'll see what happens when he gets back into camp. Now, we were asked a few questions about Denzel Mims.
How is Denzel doing in terms of grasping the offense?
Denzel's doing better. He's second time around. He's in fantastic shape. Looks really good. He's working on the things that we've asked him to work on with regards to the catch point and all that stuff, contested balls, but and obviously grasping the offense. So obviously we all, the whole organization has work to do in terms of reaching the point where we're not thinking about what we're being asked to do, but he's a lot further along today than he was a year ago.
When you say let me just quick follow up. When you say he's in excellent shape, was that ever an issue with him?
Well, he never got a chance with all the sicknesses that he had to really when I say shape, like because of the things that happened to him last offseason, he was never able to maintain the lower half power that is so underrated for a receiver play to get in and out of breaks and be explosive. And so you see all the explosiveness now because he's in fantastic shape and ready to roll. So. Man,
the New York media doesn't take a break. When Robert Saleh talks about Denzel Mims being in fantastic shape, he's in the best shape ever. He's able to get in shape like he wasn't able to last year because of all the sicknesses and everything like that. They come firing right back with, oh, well, was that an issue in the past? And then he starts talking like, oh, wait, hold on. That's not where I'm trying to go with this. Not what I was trying to say. And it's just like the media attacking the little, like, I mean, I get why they ask it. It's their job to ask the question. But it's still like, it didn't seem like there was an issue with Denzel Mims' work ethic prior to this. And to have that question sort of followed up felt like you were just trying to put a negative spin on some stuff here. Denzel Mims working out like an animal. We've seen the pictures of him. We've seen some of the workout videos. Now, Denzel Mims, I do expect him to be more dialed in this year. It does take, more than a year to figure out the whole offense and everything. And when you miss your entire OTAs and training camp because of injury or food poisoning or being buried on a depth chart because they bring in 3 wide receivers last season, you're going to be a little bit behind the 8 ball. And I expect Denzel Mims to be a little more explosive. And that might be the lower leg thing is kind of what Robert Saleh was talking about here. You need to be explosive in your breaks and everything like that. And to me last year, it felt like Denzel Mims was sort of stuck in mud. Like he wasn't quite the speed that I remember seeing of him. And I think that has to do with him just not being able to get into that shape that he needs to be in, kind of like what Robert Saleh is talking about there. So I'm really excited for Denzel Mims. Super excited when we drafted him. Not going to lie, the faith is waning a little bit, so I want to see some action here. But looking forward to seeing what we get out of Denzel Mims. Now, when asked about DJ Reed, Robert Saleh had this to say.
With DJ Reed, obviously you had him early on in his career in San Francisco. What did you see when you studied the film with him last year in Seattle? Like what kind of growth did you see? And I know it's been a long time since you were in Seattle. Is it still an easy transition from that defense to your defense?
Yeah, the corner play is universal in terms of what they're being asked to do. You see the same things. DJ is one of the hardest playing. We got this thing in the building, king of strain. Are you straining every day? Are you straining in the way you work on the football field? And I mean, the guy, you could almost hear him grunting on tape, and the volume's on mute. With how hard he plays and how hard he's getting in and out of his breaks and how important every single rep is to him. You see him in meetings, just the laser focus. There's no dozing off. There's no slouching. He is completely locked in. So you see all of that, and at the same time, he's not a robot. He's an unbelievable person and willing to talk to guys and bring guys along. So he's been awesome, and really excited that we have him.
I love seeing the work ethic side of things, and hearing Robert Saleh say you could almost hear him grunting on the videotape while it's on mute. This is like a Chuck Norris joke. This feels like a Michael Clemens comment waiting to happen. But no, this is cool to see. And obviously he was a top 10 corner last year with the way he played in Seattle. He got to work with Robert Saleh prior to that. And him saying that the cornerback role is kind of universal. You're one-on-one with an opposing wide receiver. I think that's roughly how you're going to do it. You got to beat your guy. That's kind of the way it is, or stick in his back pocket. Now, are there different, I don't know. I guess it is universal. I never really thought of it like that, because when you think like man, zone, different possible like trading off of different things based on how, the offense lines up. But I guess for an outside corner, you're probably just going with the outside guy at that point. So I guess a weird thing I've never really thought about, but I guess it is universal. And that's probably why you're going to see Reed start. And we're going to get to a few comments about Sauce a little bit later that maybe this kind of echoes back to where we've seen Reed against NFL wide receivers. So there's a gauge there. But yeah, can't say I don't dislike anything I've heard about DJ Reed. I'm really excited. I think this is a vastly improved defense thanks to both Whitehead and Reed, and of course Sauce and Joyner and all those guys coming back. But we move on to some of the coaching aspects. Now, Rob Calabrese, Jets quarterback coach, going to get a little bit of love from Robert Saleh here.
Calabrese isn't a guy that's too well known yet. What do you see in him, and what do you think his potential is?
He's definitely got coordinator potential. Keyword in your question was yet. I think I don't want to put his business on blast, but he was courted this offseason in terms of job opportunities and coordinator opportunities. So he elected to stay. So very talented young man, very knowledgeable, played the position, and he's young. He's a sponge, and he's getting better every single day as a football coach.
This is nice to see. How often do you get to hear Jets head coaches or Jets coaching staff possibly getting poached for other positions, coordinator positions? He's a quarterback coach right now. I would envision if there's a situation where Mike LaFleur winds up getting poached from the New York Jets, which would be a great problem to have for us as much as I don't want to see him go, I would think Rob Calabrese or Ron Middleton, one of those two guys would probably wind up slotting into our offensive coordinator role. So to hear he's getting courted by other teams, even though he's not getting hired, just getting the interviews right now at this particular point in time, I'm all about it. I like it a lot. We got to hear some funny comments out of Robert Saleh in regards to our other coordinator. Shouldn't say other coordinator, but our offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur.
Peacock chest.
Yeah, a little
He's also been in the weight room too. If you guys want to compliment his, it's been a whole quarterback room thing. He looks good.
Shows out the Chipotle around the corner.
No, he's been weightlifting on this diet and stuff and trying to keep up with the good looks of his brother.
I really enjoy how lighthearted this is because the whole Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur thing and he's got to work on his looks. He's trying to keep up with his brother, Mr. Peacock Chest. This is good. This is obviously a nod back to Zach Wilson's little workout, strong. What he gained, 15 pounds of muscle, has thick legs. Everyone's commenting on his physique and everything like that. Well, we got to comment on Mike LaFleur's physique as well. He is going to be holding that clipboard so aggressively, other teams aren't going to know what's about to hit them in the mouth. Now, we move on to probably our biggest, maybe headlining sort of grabbing point of today, and that was a comment made by Robert Saleh about Sauce Gardner.
Bryce and Brandon, kind of handle it, because when you draft a guy like Sauce, obviously he's going to play. It was the 4th overall pick, and that obviously would mean one of those guys probably is coming off the field.
Well, they've been professionals. Bryce is awesome, and I do want to be clear, and I know that, like you just said, with 4th overall, and I'm not trying to stir up headlines, and probably will, but he still has to go earn it. And Bryce has has started. He's taken the 1 reps, and it's not for show. It's you got to go earn your right to play football. Just because you're drafted in a certain spot doesn't mean anything. And Bryce is attacking every moment, and he's doing everything he can to keep himself exactly where he's been. So Brandon, obviously, he's been hampering with or dealing with his shoulder, so he looks fantastic. He's bigger than he was last season. Excited to get him back for training camp so he can come in and compete. But at the same time, both of them have been awesome.
Now, obviously, this is something you want to see with your head coach. You want to see guys earn their spot on the roster. And he sort of alludes to, oh, look, I understand what you're trying to get at with the 4th overall pick. He's definitely going to play. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I know I'm going to stir up headlines. He's got to earn his spot, that sort of thing. Zach Wilson obviously started all of last year without a whole heck of a lot of competition. No one really proven on the roster. But I think this is sort of that similar situation to what I was talking about with DJ Reed. It's like, hey, look, Reed played against NFL caliber wide receivers. He gets slotted in as cornerback 1. Bryce Hall played against NFL caliber wide receivers last year. Now he's slotted in as starting cornerback as well. And Sauce is going to have to earn his playing time. I think that's a good thing to have. I think Sauce is going to take the challenge, and I think he's definitely going to be starting by week 1. Oddly enough, as much as people might give it like a little bit of shit for like, oh, he's a top 5 pick, he's not really going to sit him. Robert Saleh was defensive coordinator of the 49ers when they sat top 5 pick Solomon Thomas, who's oddly enough on the New York Jets now. So it's not like he hasn't done this before. So if Hall winds up showing out in preseason and in training camp and all these different things, and Reed shows out the way we expect him to show out, maybe there is a situation where Sauce doesn't see the field. That's probably a good problem, but if that winds up happening, people are going to lose their damn minds. They're going to be so upset if Sauce doesn't see the field. I know I really want to see him as well, and I expect that to be the case. I think him and Reed are going to be our top 2 corners for the duration of this year. Now, guys, I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below. How did you feel about the OTAs? How did you feel about practice, the press conference, things of that nature? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And as always, go Jets!
Yeah!